everyone, and welcome back to another video. It's been a little while since we last looked at the logstone. Once again, I've been checking it every day just to make sure that there's no special information that I'm missing out on. And we actually got two little surprises early this morning. I'm sorry for taking so long to upload it. Had to go to work and everything. But if we look down here, we have the special site update for patch 5.3 Reflections in Skysteel. So now we have a very special glimpse of the next step in refining the Skysteel tools, as well as the battle that's about to take place in the Bozjan Southern Front. I've actually been really looking forward to this whole thing ever since I first heard about it, and we finally got some more news. I don't know about you guys, but I've kind of been running pretty low on things to do in the game right now. So we're just going to discuss very briefly about the special updates, and hopefully those will be coming out any day now. I do know that we will be getting the next letter from the producer coming out tomorrow, so I will do my best to be able to witness that. I do have work tomorrow morning, but I'm going to have a friend just copy everything. Like, he's just going to record the whole thing for me, which I'm going to really appreciate. Alright, so what do we have waiting for us this time? Well, if we go down here, we actually have an update for the Save the Queen Guns of Grunhilde. We already know about that part. That's going to be part of a special quest that's going to pick up where we left off. And if you remember, that was when we actually had to dive into Cid's memory to get a good look at those weapons, as well as fight against Varus. I don't know, like a dreamscape version of him. That was kind of cool. So we actually have this scene right here. This is actually old information right now. So this is actually a scene that has been out for a while. We haven't seen it yet in the game. Again, it hasn't come out just yet, but that should be about to change any second. So for that part, which is part of the special quest, the illustrious guard of the Queen Grunhilde has been born anew. Their presence fanning the flames of the rebellion. Morale within the Bozjan resistance has never been higher, and now they will begin their push to reclaim Bozja in earnest. So you saw a good look at these guys. Let me pull up that picture again. So we do have a couple Rothguard, but we have some Hurons here as well. So these guys are probably the main members of the Bozjan resistance. So we're probably going to get to know all of them pretty well while we're visiting. But here we are moving on to the Bozjan Southern Front. So this is actually going to be a lot like Eureka, only instead of like a wild wilderness that we're going to be running around. This here is actually just the southern front of Bozja, which have already been overtaken by the Garleans. So when the Empire first invaded Bozja, Amarkand Fortress was erected in southern Bozja, the location chose for its natural defenses. Alas, the seemingly impenetrable stronghold fell and has now since been under the Garlean name Castrum Lacasloti. Emboldened by the rebirth of Grunhilde's blades, the Bozjan resistance has begun Operation Eagle Nest in the bid to regain the most necessary foothold in the southern front. So we actually got some pictures here of what it's going to be like. So as you can see, most of this land does look like it's just pure wasteland area, which makes sense because Ishbard is supposed to be full of kind of bad weather and just wastelands. So you can actually see the fortress in the background. Just imagine that as like the Baldessian arsenal. That's going to be our target. The problem is we have to fight from here to there. And as you can see, there's going to be a bunch of things standing in our way, including a bunch of experiments, some machines, magitech. I don't even want to know what this thing over here is. But this is just a very basic idea of what's going to be waiting for us. So here is the next part where we have like, it looks like a giant magitech or like robotic cat of some kind. It's definitely like based off some kind of robotic giant animal at least. So this looks like it's going to be part of like those special fates. I mean, they're not going by the term fates, but these are going to be like special battles that you can participate in and help improve your weapons. So this is going to be just like one great big battle. You have to fight your way through here to get to the palace that's waiting on the other end. So in this picture, it actually looks like we're in front of the fortress itself, and this here is like the big bad boss that's going to be waiting for us, just from what we've seen so far. And I think that's really a cool thing, because it does show that we should be at least retaking the fortress for this patch. And I'm guessing that in later patches we're going to be reclaiming more and more pieces until finally we do reclaim Bozja. which would be awesome. Not entirely sure exactly what kind of beast this is or what's powering it, but it's definitely some really powerful Magitech armor that we're probably going to be facing very soon. And here is something that I love. I've seen this picture ever since 5.3 started coming out, and I had no idea where we get it from, but now this here confirms it. We actually have our own fighter plane here. I love it. I think it's awesome. So I don't know if they're going to be having like those locked treasure chests scattered throughout this land, kind of like how we had in Eureka, and then we just, by luck of the draw, we end up getting the mount. I have a feeling it's going to be something similar to that, but hey, we'll find out soon. So I'm definitely going to be fighting until I get this thing. Alright, so that's all that we know so far about the Bozjan Southern Front for the time being. And if we move down here, we have another little part, which is part of the Ishgardian restoration. Now, I am on the Lamia server at the moment, and we're nowhere near actually getting to the end. I think right now the only server that has completed this next part of the Ishgardian restoration is Toneberry. I need to double check with that. But as you can see here, this is actually like a little cutscene, it looks like, from probably the quest after we complete it. But we see Francel here with his family. So that's his father that we have back here, and these two are his brother and sister. And I remember correctly that Francel is the youngest of 4 children. So he is the youngest. He had an older brother who I think was killed in the war. I think that he was killed... I can't remember. I think it was the Stone Vigil or something along those lines. He was definitely killed during the war. So this here is his big brother and sister, and I'm sure that he really wants to impress them. He really wants them to be proud of him. He wants to basically do right of all of Ishgard, but he really does want his family to be really proud of him. So that's a really sweet idea. And here we have just a couple rewards that we end up from participating, and these are the checkered umbrellas. Very cute idea. And this here is a copy of a special, I guess, outfit that you can earn from playing like the Mog tickets. I forget what they're called. But basically, it's kind of luck of the draw with those guys as well. And if you really, really want this outfit, but you don't want to have to play through all those tickets all the time, you can just go ahead and buy it from the market board. So, with Francel Dale Helionauts leading the charge, the reconstruction of the firmament surges to ever loftier heights. As many more take up residence in the new nest, the young lord would realize his latest vision. A bustling new commercial district befitting Ishgard's new age of free trade and enlightenment. Artisans one and all, take up your tools and answer the call. So that's basically old news. Like, that's been out since 5.3, so we already know about that. The update to that, though, is the Skysteel tools upgrade. So Nimimard and his unflappable team of engineers at the manufactory believe that they have identified a process by which Skysteel tools might be made to sing as never before, but they'll have need of crafting and gathering expertise to see the job done. And unfortunately, we have a familiar face here. Rowena, why are you here? Seriously, why? It just feels like every time we see her, we're in for a world of hurt. I mean, look at this guy with her. He looks terrified. But yes, we are going to be upgrading our special tools. So the current Skysteel tools aren't the best, as it's been stated, and that's okay. Apparently, though, these new upgrades to the tools are going to make them probably the very best in the game, at least until the next patch of 5.4. So we can look forward to that. And I think that's pretty much all the information that we have so far about the update, except for this one little bit down here. So I'm guessing that these are actually pictures that are going to be part of the Bozjan resistance. So here we have one of the weapons, and we definitely saw the picture of this before, like standing right in front of the fortress, so this kind of looks like maybe like the final boss, like the special boss that we're going to be up against. And he looks really cool. Look at that. He just looks so sci-fi. Like, you would not expect that in like a Final Fantasy game. This next boss, however, I'm actually kind of confused about, because I haven't seen anything like it before. Now, to me, he kind of resembles a cross of Ranjit and Godbert Manderville. I think maybe that's just because of like the scars and the stance that he's doing, as well as like with the mustache and beard, and they just sort of mash that together. So I don't know who this guy is, and I know even less about his colorful friend behind him. Again, I think that he's going to be a boss that we're going to be fighting some point in the Bozjan Resistance Force. I think that's basically the idea. So he's definitely a boss that we're going to have to watch out for. Don't know if he is an enemy or an ally with Bozja yet, but he's definitely going to be someone that we're going to be fighting against at some point. Alright, and again, if you want to see any more of those pictures, they are down here as well, so you can take a look at those whenever you want, but otherwise, I think that's going to be it for right now. I do think that's going to be kind of the last major update that we're going to be getting for this special site, and we can start to look forward to patch 5.4, which we don't have any information about, but again, we're going to have the next letter from the producer coming out tomorrow, so that's going to give us at least some kind of clue to what we can be expecting. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will be seeing you probably on the Bozjan front. So until then, this is Fantasy Girl signing out.